Hey everybody, I promised a quick 5-minute tutorial. This is something that's amazing. It's using a symptom survey and using it before and after you've worked with a client. This was life-changing for me. I started using it 20 years ago and I started seeing LEAP clients. And I didn't realize what the power was of using this. So here's an example of a symptom survey. Very similar to a MSQ, multiple symptom questionnaire, except the symptom survey that I've used, or we've used, does not ask things like premature graying of hair and nail ridges and frequent colds and flu, because we're not going to expect those symptoms to change in 2 weeks. So the only symptoms that are asked here are things that we could expect to change in 2 weeks. So if you glance at it, you can see on a scale of 1, basically 0 to 4, from never to mild and mild to severe and occasional and frequent. So we're asking somebody to rate every one of these. And I do this with every client before they work with me. This, along with their health history, gives me a really good idea of the kind of client they are and what I might be able to help them with. But I use this for every client. If I was referred somebody for diabetes, which I'm not, but I would, that's something I do. But if I was referred someone with diabetes, I would still do the symptom survey, because what if someone has diabetes and they've also got muscle aches and joint pain and stomach and IBS symptoms and headaches and anxiety and fatigue? Don't I want to address all of that as well? Of course I do. So taking a look at the symptom survey, I will have people fill it out before and after. Here's a little note. If you want to take some notes, do they have just one diagnosis? Is it just renal? Is it just this? What is going on with overall symptoms? And if the more symptoms somebody has, the more likelihood that there's overall inflammation going on. And to me, I want to bring inflammation down. So how do I address all of this? Of course, I address it with LEAP. But one of the things that's so good is this, when I look at it, I'll treat the issues. What's so fascinating about this is how often people will come back 2 weeks, 4 weeks, 6 weeks after they did their first initial symptom survey. So maybe they did one and then it was a couple of weeks before they decided to work with me. And then it was a couple of weeks before they decided to get MRT tested. And then it was a couple more weeks before they started because they were on vacation. So they might have 6 weeks before their initial and their follow-up. And you look at the symptom survey, their initial symptom survey, maybe it's 50 points, maybe it's 120 points. And they come back and their follow-up and their points, my expectation is that people drop their points in 50% in 10 to 14 days of making major diet changes that I recommend. If they come back, their points have dropped 50%. The interesting thing is how often people will say, oh, I don't know if I'm that much better. Oh, this diet's really hard. Oh, it's not any fun because I wasn't able to eat with my family because they could eat this and there was all these things I couldn't eat on there. And what happens is when we share the symptom surveys before and after and show that they dropped by so many points, I'll say, really, you want to give up on this? You said your stomach pain and cramps was 4, frequent and severe, and now you're saying it's a 1, that it's just mild and occasional. And you said your diarrhea was a 4, now you're giving it a 2. And you said your stiff joints was a 4, now you're giving that a 1. And just kind of going through this with them. And they'll say, oh, really? Oh, I didn't know that. And I have learned there's something called situational amnesia. I forget the term. Anyway, there's a psychological term for the fact that we tend to forget the pain in our body, the pain in our life when it's gone. That's, I think, why people continue to go back to their addictions. That's why people go back to abusive relationships. We want to remember the good stuff and forget the bad. Maybe even having babies again. People do that. They'll forget how bad they were. But if I can show them in black and white, this is where you said you were, and this is where you say you are now. Do you really want to go back to that frequent and severe whatever? And they'll go, oh, no, I don't think so. I don't think I want to do that. Let me see if there's any other notes. Oh, selective amnesia, yes. So I do it at the start, and then very often I'll do it 2 weeks into diet changes, 1 month in, I'll have them do another one. 2 months in, do another one, maybe 3 months in. Maybe follow up after 6 months or even 1 year. Say, yeah, I'm going to follow up with you in another 6 months. Just to have you do another survey and make sure that the changes are holding, that you still feel good and everything's okay. And they'll be like, fine. Amazing tool. I would never work with clients again without it because it gives me so much more information than just that verbal exchange does. So hope this helps. Hope you like it. And let me know what you think. Love to hear from you.